2012, teaching at Mayapur Institute of Higher Education, Vrindavan Institute, and globally leading ISKCON at various committees. Maharaj also have served in the leadership positions in ISKCON, including as legal director for New Mayapur and also in the legal matters of Radha Desh projects. Maharaj holds positions on the Shastric Advisory Committee, Council, Board of Examination, and committees under the Ministry of Sannyas. Maharaj is actively preaching since 1996, and he delivers seminars, lectures worldwide, inspiring devotees with his deep knowledge, devotion, and leadership. So we all, let's chant 3 times loudly Hari Bol and welcome Maharaj. Hari Bol.
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Good evening. These are my obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Stop.
So this evening I would like to discuss a verse of Bhagavad Gita with you. A verse from the 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga, text 34. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Indriyasyandriyasyakte ragadvesha vyavastita. Tayonavasamagatyat tayasya parantina. Paripantina. Again. Indriyasyandriyasyakte ragadvesha vyavastita. Tayonavasam agachat tayasya paripantina. Indriyasyandriyasyakte ragadvesha vyavastita. Tayonavasam agachat tayasya paripantina. The word-for-word translation. Indriyasya, of the senses. Indriyasya arte, in the sense objects. Raga, attachment. Dvesha, also detachment. Vyavastita, put under regulations. Tayo, of them. Na, never. Vasam, control. Agachat, one should come. Tao, those, he, certainly, asya, his, paripantina, stumbling blocks. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. On the purport. Those who are in Krishna consciousness are naturally reluctant to engage in material sense gratification. But those who are not in such consciousness should follow the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures. Unrestricted sense enjoyment is the cause of material engagement, but one who follows the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures does not become entangled by the sense objects. For example, sex enjoyment is a necessity for the conditioned soul, and sex enjoyment is allowed under the license of marriage ties. According to scriptural injunctions, one is forbidden to engage in sex relationships with any woman other than one's wife. All other women are to be considered as one's mother. But in spite of such injunctions, a man is still inclined to have sex relationships with other women. Those propensities are to be curbed. Otherwise, they will be stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. As long as the material body is there, the necessities of the material body are allowed, but under rules and regulations. And yet we should not rely upon the control of such allowances. One has to follow those rules and regulations unattached to them, because practice of sense gratification and regulations may also lead one to go astray, as much as there is always the chance of an accident, even on the royal roads. Although they may be very carefully maintained, no one can guarantee that there will be no danger even on the safest road. The sense enjoyment spirit has been current a very long time owing to material association. Therefore, in spite of regulated sense enjoyment, there is every chance of falling down. Therefore, any attachment for regulated sense enjoyment must also be avoided by all means. But attachment to Krishna consciousness, or acting always in the loving service of Krishna, detaches one from all kinds of sensory activities. Therefore, no one should try to be detached from Krishna consciousness at any stage of life. The whole purpose of detachment from all kinds of sense attachments is ultimately to become situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness. I read the verse again. Indriyasyandrayasyarte raga dvesha vyavastita tayo navasam agachat to yasya paripantino. There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion, because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Chanansana Slakaya Saksurmiritam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah. Chitchetanya Manopistam Staptam Yena Bhutale Swam Upradamyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shiru Shiyuda Padkamalam Shirum Vaishnavam Sa Shirupam Sarjatam Sakanaragnavtam Vitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parjana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakanalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sa. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopkakanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhani Sutta Devi Pranamama Haripi Vancha Kalaptrabhusha Kripa Sindhavesha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatani. Srila Prabhupada ki. In this verse, Lord Krishna says there are two obstacles for making progress in spiritual life. They are attachment and aversion in related to the senses, in relation to this material world. Attachment and aversion, raga, dvesha, they are paripantina, obstacles. The purpose of yoga is to connect with Krishna, to connect with the spiritual energy. So by chanting Hare Krishna, we connect with the holy name. But we can only connect with the holy name if we can give attention to the holy name. When I was traveling with Prahlad Maharj used to say that first give your attention to Krishna, and then you can give your love to Krishna. So that's logic. If you want to love someone, you have to give attention to the person. Then you can give your love. But many times when we chant, we cannot give attention to the holy name because so many things come into our mind. And why does all these disturbances come into our mind when we chant? It's because of our attachment and aversion to things in this world. And this attachment and aversion, good and bad, they are a concoction of the mind, an invention. Because it's attachment and aversion based on I'm the body. What gives pleasure to the body, we become very attached to. And what gives pain, that we don't want. That's attachment and aversion pertaining to the body, to the senses. And it's also this attachment and aversion fills the mind. And we chant Hare Krishna, but the mind is busy with this attachment and aversion. Aversion, you have been hurt by this, that, and that. And it comes in your mind or you are attached of sense gratification, comes into your mind, attachment and aversion. And thereby that, we remain in material consciousness, even while chanting. So how to give attention to the holy name when one has this attachment and aversion? This good and bad is an invention of the mind. What we think good, a little later we think it's bad. Radhanath Maharaj used to illustrate that a story of an old Chinese story. And it's a story of a Chinese farmer. And the Chinese farmer has a horse. With the horse, he works on the land. And they are living in a small village, a few hundred people, and everyone knows everyone. That is quite a close community. And one day the horse ran away. He lost his horse, the horse ran away. And all the villagers, that's very bad. Now he lost his horse. How he's going to work on the land? This is very bad. 2 days later, the horse came back with 2 other horses, wild horses. Now he had 3 horses. And all the villagers said, that's very good. Now he has 3 horses. He's very lucky. Then the son of the farmer, he was trying to tame these to train and tame these 2 new horses. And while training the horses, the son of the farmer broke his leg. And all the villagers said, that's very bad. He broke his leg. Now we cannot do any work anymore for a long time. Then the day after, a representative of the Chinese emperor came to the village to draft young men into the army. And he went to the house of the farmer and he wanted to engage his son, to send his son to the army. But then he saw his son had a broken leg. And he said, oh, then he cannot go to the army. And all the villagers said, that's good. Now he doesn't have to go to the army. So a few hours before they were saying, it's very bad, he had a broken leg. And then a few hours later, they said, that's very good, yes. That's so we go from one side to the other. That this attachment and aversion. When we are hungry, we become attached to eating a pizza. How long does it take eating a pizza? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes? And then the hunger disappears, no attachment anymore. Later it comes again. So it's all based on the body. This attachment and aversion. That where does this attachment and aversion come from? In the next verse, in Bhagavad Gita here, Krishna will say to Arjuna, you have to do your duty. It's better to do your own duty than the duty of others. So Krishna says, yes, we have attachment and aversion. We have attached, we have certain qualities, certain likes, certain qualities. And according to our qualities, our likes and attachment, we have our duties and we must do these duties. That work out of duty. Work, do your prescribed duty out of duty. It's duty. We should not do our work because of attachment and aversion. Attachment to money. That aversion to too much austerities. That no, we should do our duty. Because Arjuna did not want to fight. So Krishna says Arjuna is attached to his grandfather, Bhishmadev, and he's averse to killing him. So attachment and aversion. But it's based on the body, that this attachment and aversion. But Krishna says you do your duty without attachment of aversion. Of course, he will later say, do your duty without attachment of aversion in devotional service. But Arjuna will say, okay, that he says in the next verse, I want to do my duty, but still there is a force greater than me, which forces me to act according to this attachment and aversion, Krishna. What is this force? Then Krishna says, in the next verse, he says, Kamesh Krodesha Ratsaguna Samudbhava Masama Papna Vityanam Yavarinam. It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material modes of passion and later transformed into wrath, which is always a devouring sinful enemy in this world. So it is lust, Arjuna, is the enemy number one. And what is the influence of this lust on our consciousness? Influences that we are more and more becoming absorbed in this attachment and aversion, become more attached to enjoying the body and the senses. And we want, we don't want what gives pain to the body and the mind. This lust deepens our absorption in this attachment and aversion. And it becomes more and more difficult to think of Krishna while chanting. Therefore, we follow these four regulative principles. Because if we don't follow the regulative principles, if we eat meat, fish, eggs, we gamble, we take intoxication, and so on, our absorption in the body becomes deeper and deeper. It becomes practically impossible to understand that we factually are not a body. Because the effect of lust is, Krishna says, Avitam ghatamena etena ghanina nitya vargam kamrupena kauntya dusprananalinacha. He says, the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. So it covers our eternal knowledge that we are not a body. It covers our knowledge that we are factually a servant of Krishna. It makes us think that we are a servant of the senses and the body, and that we are the body. So that's the covering effect. It covers you and it brings you down more and more in material consciousness. And Arjuna has heard this. Arjuna is a military man, and he has heard this word enemy. So he not really wants to know from Krishna. Krishna, where is the enemy? Where can I find this enemy? And how can I kill it? How can I kill this enemy? But first, before killing, you have to know where is he situated, this lust, this enemy. And Krishna says this lust, Arjuna, is situated in the intelligence and the mind and the senses. And that takes away our real knowledge because it makes us identifying with this body. And how can you kill this lust? You must regulate the senses, Arjuna. Regulate the senses and destroy this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. And how do we regulate the senses? We regulate the senses by knowing that higher than matter are the senses, higher than the senses. is the mind. The mind is the steering wheel of the sense. Higher than intelligence, than the mind is intelligence. Because mind means thinking, feeling, willing. And intelligence means what to do, what not to do, discrimination. And higher than intelligence is the soul. So, how to regulate the senses? That, because when one is under influence of this lust and this attachment and aversion, then the mind takes over. And the mind says, when it feels good, let it do. When it feels bad, we don't want to do it. But the mind must must be under the direction of the intelligence. That the mind must tell the intelligence, you are not this body. You are the consciousness in this body. And you are a spirit soul, servant of Krishna. So the intelligence should instruct the mind, you should act as a spirit soul, not as the body. But to do that, Krishna says, we need transcendental knowledge, how to act as a spirit soul. So you must first strengthen the intelligence with transcendental knowledge, how to act as a spirit soul, and then the soul becomes attached to this knowledge and pushes the intelligence. Yes, that's what we desire, because that's what the soul does, become attached, desire. It pushes the intelligence, and intelligence instructs the mind and senses to be engaged in Krishna's service. And that is regulating the senses. In the paper that we used, 434, it is said that, yes, we have attachment and aversion, and a man may be attracted also to other women than his wife, but he should curb that by regulating the senses, that the intelligence should tell the mind, no, that these are the boundaries. You cannot go stray. And one must keep to these regulations. But Prabhupada warns there is even a possibility of an accident on the royal road. So this attachment and aversion, that's something to be very careful with. That spiritual life begins with understanding what is good for serving Krishna, what's bad for serving Krishna, what's good for performing devotional service, what will help us, and what will not help us. That's explained in Nectar of Devotion, but Nectar of Devotion is a big book. Prabhupada said Nectar of Devotion, everyone should know this book inside and outside. This is the manual of how to perform devotional service, how to act as a spirit soul. But it's a big book. And therefore, Rupa Goswami understood. I will give also a summary of the whole process of devotional service in 11 verses. And that is called Upadeshamrita, of Nectar of Instruction. That so to perform devotional service, we must know what not to do and what not to do. What to do. What to do. Utsa nisayada yatta tat karma pavartanat. Sangha tyaga sato vitre satpir bhaktir prashidati. 6 things to do, Krishna say. That you should be enthusiastic in devotional service. I want to serve Krishna. I want to chant. I want to come to the temple. I want to do service for Krishna. Utsa, nisaya, And determined, yes, that should be prominent in my life. And yet, one must be patient. Patient, one will become purified by this attachment and aversion. And one should perform tat karma pravartanat, 9 processes of devotional service. Shravana Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vanam Dasyam Sakramatma Nivedanam. One should hear about Krishna always. That then when one hears, one should speak about Krishna. And then one can remember Krishna. One should serve the lotus feet of Krishna in the form of the deity. Archanam, worship the deity. Vandanam, pray to the deity. Dasyam, serve the deity. Atma Nivedanam, give everything to Krishna. That, yes, and follow in the footsteps of great devotees. That is what we should do. That will help us to forget this attachment and aversion. That will help us to become attached to Krishna. And we become attached to Krishna, we become detached from this world. This attachment and aversion goes. So that is our process. From these 9 processes, the chanting of the holy name is especially the most potent and most easy. You chant the holy name. It includes Shravanam. You have to hear the holy name. We have to be attentive to just hear. And you speak, you chant the holy name. And if you speak, you chant the holy name, you hear the holy name, you will start to remember Krishna. But an obstacle is that attachment and aversion. Attachment and aversion is we can get out of it by Krishna's process here, that he says here. Yeah, that is transcendental knowledge. So we should know that we are not a body, that we are transcendental to the senses, Krishna says. And we are transcendental to the mind, senses, mind, and intelligence. And we should hear about Krishna, get transcendental knowledge. That it said here, you control the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, by transcendental knowledge. With transcendental knowledge, we engage the mind and the senses in Krishna's service. And therefore, we need transcendental knowledge. Therefore, Krishna speaks about transcendental knowledge in the 4th chapter. So important, hearing about Krishna. But when we chant, we have this attachment in aversion. So many things come in our mind, which we think which are more important than Krishna. We chant and we think about our shopping list that we have to make. Or we chant and we make a list in our mind of the problems we have to solve. Or we chant and we think about this person has done this to me, and I feel hurt. And we don't hear the holy name. That is called offensive chanting. To come out of this offensive chanting, we have to overcome the 10 offenses against the holy name. Because this attachment and aversion on a material platform, that causes us to make offenses. So we make offenses because of ignorance. That we don't follow the order of the spiritual master, that's ignorance. That we don't respect devotees, we offend them, that's ignorance. Devotees are most dear to the Lord, even if they have some fault. That we should see their good things. That or thinking this holy name have no potency. But the holy name has all spiritual potency. Lord Chaitanya said, Nam Nama Karibodhaniya Sarva Saktis. The Lord has put all this unlimited spiritual potency in the holy name. But if you chant and you are absorbed in this attachment and aversion, you are not coming in contact with the holy name. And the holy name does not manifest this power to you. Only when you give attention, but it's because of this attachment and aversion. Even if we overcome this 10 offenses, that then we may still become absorbed in this attachment of aversion, because we have this aversion, like many people may have offended us, may have hurt us, and we start to hate them. That a devotee cannot allow that. We must be able to forgive others. If we don't forgive others, that will all again and again come in our mind. Like Hiranyakashipu or Kamsa. Kamsa was thinking day and night about Krishna because he was afraid of him. He was going to kill him. So he was quite Krishna conscious. But out of hate makes one fix one's mind on the enemy. So when we chant, all these feelings of hurt may come up. Of different. This person has done that to me. That person has done that to me 50 years ago. But it's not good. We have to forgive. Otherwise, we cannot come in contact with the holy name. Because as long as we're in this attachment and aversion, that closes our door towards Krishna. We have to open the door. If we open the door for Krishna, then we can give our love to Krishna, and we will feel Krishna's love. So therefore we have to forgive. One of the divine qualities in the 16th chapter of the Gita, Krishna says, Ksama, forgive. That's very important, that we learn to forgive. Because otherwise, this attachment and aversion comes in. This aversion, this hate comes into our life, into our mind. So this is a very important aspect, to get rid of this attachment and aversion. That here every day the Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, try to overcome these 10 offenses against the holy name. That study them, hear them. Bhakti Maharj said we should repeat them every day. In the temple of Ujjain every morning, they recite the 10 offenses from the Padma Purana in Sanskrit and then in Hindi. We should read that every day. And Prabhupada wrote it in English, the translation. And in addition of this, we must be ready to receive Krishna's love. But Loving Krishna means loving his devotees, loving everyone. We have to give up our hate, forgive others. And then the last thing is, we should try to chant in the right mood to overcome this attachment and aversion. And that's a mood of surrender. Srila Prabhupada spoke about a child crying for a mother. If a child cries for the mother, the child is helpless. That if it is distressed, it climbs off the of the lap of the mother. That if it wants food, it goes to the mother. That so we should chant and in a mood of helplessness for Krishna. Please help me. Your material energy is so strong, I cannot overcome it on my own. Please help me. That's feeling helpless. That's the first thing. But in another lecture, Prabhupada said we should chant like a little child, a baby, to the mother, because the child who is crying wants the mother. That it cries for the mother. There may be many mothers who wants to help. That many persons, but it wants his mother, the mother. No one else. There's focus. That even when the child cries, many times the father is at loss to calm down the child. It must have the mother. So we must chant with focus. We should chant in a helpless mood and focus. In another lecture, Srila Prabhupada used the same example, the child crying for the mother, because he says there is a longing that there's longing. The child wants the mother. That so we should be longing to go to Krishna. Oh Krishna, I did so many stupid things. Now I'm here in this material world. But I belong to the spiritual world. I want to go back. I know my family in the spiritual world, my eternal family is waiting for me. That so I'm longing to go back. So please help me to chant and develop love for you. And the last point is the child feels affection for the mother and the mother affection for the child. It gives also affection, the child, love. And when we put love in the chanting, it becomes easy to control our mind. And someone asked Bhakti Charamach, what does it mean chanting Hare Krishna? And his answer was so simple. He said, it means saying to Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna means saying to Krishna, I love you. So if we chant with focus in a helpless mood, with longing, and we put our love in the chanting, then we will be able to overcome this attachment and aversion. And once we become attached to Krishna, we become purified very quickly. Because Krishna is a purifying factor. Krishna says, Man mano bhav madbhakto. You think of me, you'll become my devotee. Thinking of Krishna. Man mana. So if you think of Krishna, you will become be purified. Yeah, because Krishna is antiseptic and prophylactic. That's explained in Sri Upanishad. When you have Krishna in your mind, all the impurities, all this attachment and aversion will go, this lust will go. And no new contamination can come in. It acts like a vaccine. So I try to explain in this lecture. So the obstacles are attachment and aversion. Why is this attachment and aversion there? It is caused by lust. To overcome this lust, we must regulate the senses. To regulate the senses, the intelligence must get transcendental knowledge and engage the mind and senses in the service of Krishna. Because this attachment and aversion keeps us in bodily consciousness. This attachment and aversion, good and bad, are inventions of the mind. We should create attachment to Krishna, and then we become automatically detached from the material plane. And if we chant holy name in a proper state of mind, as a child, in helpless mode, humble mode, and we are focusing really on Krishna, and we chant with longing. We want to go back to Krishna. We want to love Krishna. And we pray Krishna for help. And then trying to give all our love, put our love in the chanting. And that will make our chanting successful. Healthy. If we chant 16 rounds like that every day, we will go back to Godhead. That's for sure. Prabhupada promised that also. He said that in New Mayapur, that he said, I promise you, if you chant 16 rounds and you follow the regulative principles, you will go back to Godhead. But we have to learn how to properly chant with attention. Because one devotee said to another, he said, I didn't see you this morning at the morning program, at the lecture, Bhagavatam lecture. And the other devotee said, no, I was sitting there at the back, listening. And the other devotee said, yes, I saw your body was there, but your mind was somewhere else. So that we may chant the holy name, but think of something else. Then we are not chanting, because we are the consciousness. The consciousness must be there in the chanting, then we are there. And how is the consciousness there? Just hear the holy name and forget everything else. And try to give your love to Krishna. And then our life becomes successful. We get out of this attachment and aversion, which is madness. Everyone is mad in this world. Because everyone thinks I'm the body. And that comes because everyone is influenced by these modes of nature and has this lust in his system, which makes one identify with the body. If you identify with something that you are not, that's a madman. So we are all madmen. Only the pure devotees, they come to sanity in one's life. And we can come also pure devotees. Just by this method of chanting without offenses and in the right mood. Thank you very much. If there are any comments or questions, please.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Such a wonderful enlivening class. It's very beautiful. Dear devotees, you can unmute yourself and ask questions you have. Please go ahead.
Yes, Amritananda, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hi.
Thank you very much for sharing your realizations, Maharaj. Maharaj, we have this, there should be enthusiasm, there should be determination, there should be patience. Now, in practicing, trying to practice rather, the instructions, enthusiasm, initially there's a lot of enthusiasm, and with time it starts to get less and less. And same way, patience seems to be like a break, because with patience, what happens is that with enthusiasm, we want to get results, or we want to improve our chanting or seva or whatever else that we're doing to a higher quality. And then on the other end, there is patience, Maharaj, which says that, okay, things will come in their own time. So it becomes first like how do I say this? It becomes like a struggle, Maharaj, between between enthusiasm and patience. Now, all these things, instructions, with Vaishnavas like you, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara, we hear, we listen, we read. Intellectually and philosophically, it makes a lot of sense. We can accept it. But still, we cannot come to that realization that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. We are still operating on the bodily platform, even while doing activities like japa or deity worship or whatever. So these two things, how do we reconcile, Maharaj? Determination, enthusiasm and patience, and then philosophically understanding something, but practically the realization is lacking.
Yes. Thank you for that question. Very nice. That it is, yeah. The first question we need to ask ourselves is that what's the symptom that I make advancement in the chanting? What's the symptom that my heart is become purified? The symptom is that you get taste. If you get taste, then our enthusiasm will increase naturally if there is taste. That determination should be there. We made vows at the time of initiation. That's our determination. We should never deviate from that, whatever happens. That, yeah. But enthusiasm comes especially when we get taste. But that taste usually doesn't come immediately. Yet we have to be patient, very patient. That the problem is many times because we have sadhu sangha. In the beginning, we associate with devotees, and it starts with Shraddha, some faith. Sadhu sangha, we associate with devotees. The devotees teach us Vajnakriya, how to engage in devotion service, how to chant, how to serve the deities, and so on. And then, in the beginning, we are unsteady, anishtita. And then our bhajan becomes steady, nishtita. We can be very steady in devotional service. But does that mean that our heart becomes purified? No. Our heart becomes purified when we give up when we give up our offensive mentality. And to give up one's offensive mentality is not so easy. For so many lifetimes we have been doing that. But still, we feel we are not making advancement, but still we are becoming purified, little by little. It's like every day you look in the mirror, you see the same face, you think it's the same, but after 20 years, it's a different face. So we are becoming purified, but it's going very slow because we are making these offenses also. And like I just explain it how Bhakti Maharj answers this question that you ask. Said Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was once he was once working in his office in a temple, and the devotees were discussing something outside this room, just before his room. And Maharaj came out and was asking what they were discussing. And when the devotee said, he said, Guru Maharaj, I'm practicing for so many years, I'm chanting, I'm practicing, but I feel I do not make spiritual advancement. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said, that's very good. If you would think you make spiritual advancement and you have become a great devotee, that's not so good. That, of course, if we feel that we are not making spiritual advancement, then we must ask us the question, how can I improve that? Of course, when one feels, because then the question is, and that is what Bhakti Sharma had said, that one must question, do I surrender myself to Krishna? And said, maybe I should surrender more to Krishna. That and yes, this is a process of surrender. We stay in our old habits and don't get out of it. That a symptom of advancement is at one side you get taste, another side is that one feels more and more fallen. So feeling fallen and feeling that one is not making advancement can be good. But it's not that one takes that artificially. I'm the most fallen. The devotee said to Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen. Prabhupada said, you are not the most of anything. But someone else asked Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen. Prabhupada said, yes, what are you going to do about it? So that we have also the question. It's not that just by thinking ourselves fallen, that can be a symptom of false ego, that's all. But if we study the process of devotional service nicely, we understand this process of surrender. And we must question ourselves, how can I surrender more? Maya is giving me trouble. If we chant and we cannot not absorb deeply, then this attachment and absorption is Maya. This attachment and aversion. Just, and like Sharma had said, it's that if you are not surrendered to Krishna, Maya will give you trouble. So then you have to surrender more. So that is a process these are a few things I could say on that. Mother Taruni Radha, please.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for this beautiful class. You were mentioning that sometimes there are certain feelings which come up, and then that kind of blocks one from paying attention to chanting the holy names. So I was wondering if you could elaborate more on how we can overcome these feelings, which are just like bubbles which is coming in the mind, and quieten them so that the mind can actually attentively hear the holy names. So I was just looking for that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that question. During the day, we are usually responsible for our external affairs, and that's good. But during the chanting, we must become responsible for our internal affairs. We have an appointment with Krishna when we chant. And all the other things will have to wait. You tell your mind, okay, I have to deal with that later. I'm now busy. Sorry. Now it's time for Krishna. And that's a discipline. But of course, it depends also what you have done during the day. If during the day, all the day you forget Krishna, you absorb yourself in the world news, you absorb yourself in so many problems of things we don't need in our lives, then it becomes very difficult. So we have to be careful that we don't absorb us too much in problems of someone else, that we should be detached, and be careful. During the day you do your work, you take shelter of Krishna. That you ask Krishna for help in your work. That you have problems in relationship, you ask Krishna to help. But think of Krishna and try to take shelter of us. That Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that yes, Sarvasya Redish Sanifishta Matashmidranam Pamsa. I'm in your heart. I give remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So we can pray to Krishna and connect with Krishna and ask Krishna to help us to make spiritual advancement. But also very important is to regulate our lives. Krishna says that not too much sleep, not too less, not too much eating, not less eating. So if you have a balance, you will also become emotionally balanced and more able to control your mind. Because that's what Krishna says. Udret atmanatnam atmanam avasadyat atmeva yatmana bandhuh atmeva ripur atmana. With the mind, you can degrade yourself, you can uplift yourself. The mind can be your best friend or your best enemy. Bandhu atmatmanastasya atmanachita anatmastu satyatve vartatatma vasatyavad. Krishna says that if you conquer the mind, it's your best friend. But if you fail to do so, it's your greatest enemy. So that is something we have to work on. And our mind becomes uncontrolled because of this attachment and aversion to so many things. We are unnecessary attachment and aversion. We have so many problems with people, maybe, in this life. Some friends, some enemies, that we should take that not too serious. That in our previous life, we had our family, we had our attachment and aversions and so on. Well, what with all the problems of your previous life, where are they gone? It doesn't make sense anymore. It's all temporary. Don't take it too much serious. And that we have to learn. And we learn by hearing the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam makes her attached to Krishna and explains the futility of material life. It's so fleeting. Yeah, that, yeah. It's a process, but if we follow back the Srila Prabhupada's process nicely, we will come to that point. I hope this helps Mother Taruna Radha.
Sure, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
If we have time, can I ask you just one more question, Maharaj? If somebody
Yeah.
else can have a question.
Yeah, you can ask your second question.
Yeah, Maharaj, since I heard in the introduction that you've read so much of Shastra and so deeply doing all the certifications. So I was wondering if you could tell some lessons from the Srimad Bhagavatam which has touched your heart and stuck with you.
Of Srimad Bhagavatam that
get
touched.
inspiration from your the lessons which has touched your heart from Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj.
Yeah. I would say that of course there are so many instructions and so much lessons, but what I learned is that our relationship with that most important is to live in a relationship with Krishna. Living in a relationship with Krishna. I remember Kadamakana Maharaj, he gave a lecture to the sannyas candidates because I'm also a teacher in the sannyas school. And he spoke to the future sannyasis and said, sannyasi said means living in a relationship with Krishna constantly. That and that constant absorption. And therefore, a sannyasi has a staff, body, mind, and words. Whatever I do for Krishna, using body, mind, and words in the service of Krishna. That and that is the treasure you get from the Bhagavatam. You get Krishna in your heart and all these pastimes in your heart. And that helps you to constantly absorb in Krishna. That, like in the evening, before going to bed, we read or hear Krishna book. That and then your night will be peaceful. In the morning you get up and you think of Krishna, what you read last time. So we have to cultivate that and understand that we are not a doer in this world. Krishna is doing everything. One of the pastimes that touched me the most is Bhishmadev lying on a bed of arrows, instructing Yudhishthira Maharaj, because Yudhishthira Maharaj was thinking, they killed so many millions of Kshatriyas were killed just to bring me on the throne. That and so I will go to hell for many lifetimes, he was thinking. And Krishna tried to convince him, but he would not accept Krishna's instructions directly, because Krishna had arranged that he would hear from Bhishmadev. And Bhishmadev told Yudhishthira Maharaj, yes, two very important instructions. And that really touched my heart, these two instructions. He said first that as long as you follow the instructions of the Brahmins and the instructions of the principle, and you follow the principles of religion, then you will be always protected by these principles of religion and by the Brahmins. So if that means if we follow the instructions of Prabhupada, we chant, we do our rounds, and we follow what is teaching us, we will always be protected by Krishna. The second thing, Bhishmadev said, you think that all this battle of Kurukshetra was there to put you on the throne? But he said, everything goes according to the plan of the Lord, plan of Krishna, not your plan. Krishna wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj, Amar Bhagavat, to rule the world. He wanted you to do this service. Now you have to do this service. So I'm always thinking like that. I make my plans and Krishna laughs. No. What will happen will be Krishna's plan. And we have to surrender to it. So we have put in a certain situation by our karma. We should accept it. We should be responsible because these are the reactions of our past misdeeds. We should say to Krishna, thank you. This is your mercy. Whatever pain I have is to, whatever distress I'm going through, it's to correct me. And that was the instruction that Bhakti Maharj gave me, the same instruction. Whatever happens in your life, good or bad, see it as the mercy of Krishna. So these are a few things I learned. I learned, trying to learn, that if we want to, we should always remember what is the symptom of self-realization. Someone asked Bhujan Prabhu, he was teaching me the Bhagavatam in Vrindavan. Someone asked Bhujan Prabhu, are you a self-realized person? And Bhujan Prabhu said, yes, I'm a self-realized person. I realized I'm a complete nonsense. And that's the realization we need. I hope that helps Taruni Radha.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. That was very beautiful. Very, very grateful for your answer.
Yeah. Sundarananda Prabhu, please.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you for a wonderful class. I think you may already have answered some on my question. It was with regards to how to keep our mind also along with chanting. Just as you mentioned, our body is there, but sometimes our mind is not. You gave one tip where reading Krishna book or similar just before we go to bed. Is there anything else that you can recommend? Because for me personally, it's such an austerity to just chant. We are used to doing so many things, distractions. So is there anything you recommend for us to just focus on the holy name?
Well, I would say what's important is that what you like to do it for Krishna. That we have all our material nature, things that we like to do, but that we are good in. Try to engage that in Krishna's mission. That because to make progress in devotion service, we need to be satisfied, feel satisfied. If we are not satisfied peacefully, we cannot focus on Krishna. Therefore, we need to use our psychophysical nature in the service of Krishna. So what you are good in, try to use that in Krishna service. And if you don't know what to do, ask the temple president that who knows you. He may know how to engage you, but try to do what you are good in, do it for Krishna. I was a chartered accountant in the first years in the temple as a brahmachari. I brought bookkeeping to a professional standard. It was not nice when I came there. There was practically no bookkeeping. But And I made professional accountancy reports and improved relationship with the tax people. That was my service for Krishna. That you connect what you do with Krishna one way or another. That's most important. We cannot neglect our material nature. We have to use our material nature in Krishna's service to purify it. Good. Thank you very much. I was very happy to be with you. And I look forward to see you next time. I've been asked to give the Bhagavatam class tomorrow, 6:30. So maybe some of you we will meet then. Otherwise, I look forward to serve you again. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank you so
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Maharaj.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Would like Madhuri Prabhu would like to conclude or any other announcements?
No, we like to first of all thank Maharaj for his wonderful association. Last few days, sorry Maharaj, we could not meet physically at the temple today for the temple program because of the weather, but we were able to hear you virtually, so it was wonderful, and we will humbly request you to come again and again and enliven us with your wonderful association. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So as Maharaj mentioned, the chanting is the key, that attentive chanting. That's so we have few group of devotees chanting in the morning every day. If you would like to join so that we all can attentively chant that wonderful, the morning time. It's wonderful. Please contact us, one of us, so we can tell you what is the how to chant, how to join in that group. It's a WhatsApp group. So thank you so much. Anything else? Any other announcements?
Yeah. And one thing which Maharaj mentioned, which really nicely struck me, is during the chanting period is the internal affairs with Krishna. So let's stop all our distractions during that time. Keep your cell phone aside, keep everything aside while you're chanting, and just focus on chanting the holy name. So that's very nice. Some announcements. Next, as Maharaj mentioned, he's giving the Bhagavatam class tomorrow in the morning from 6:30 to 7 on our temple channel. We have the Bhagavatam every morning, Japan Bhagavatam channel in the morning from 5 to 7, and 6:30 to 7 is a Bhagavatam class. So please join in. We will post the flyer again in the Japathon group for the morning and evening Zoom IDs. Next Sunday, we have Dhruva Prabhu coming and going to be with us with his newly launched Narshinga book, and as well as he'll do a nice presentation and also have a Narshinga Yagya as part of the Sunday program. That's next Sunday. Sunday after, the Sunday of February 1st, is that what it is?
Second.
February 2nd. Arudha Mataji is going to be with us, giving a seminar, 3-hour seminar from 3 to 6 on art of parenting. We will humbly request all those who are parents and trying to raise the children in Krishna consciousness, the Sunday school teachers, the students. I would like to request all of them to join in this wonderful seminar from 3 to 6, followed by Gaur Aarti, and then there'll be class by Aruda Mataji's illustrious son, Gopal Hari Prabhu, who is also nicely homeschooled Gopal Hari Prabhu and Radhika Raman Prabhu. So Gopal Hari Prabhu is going to be there with us and he'll be giving a class. That's on February 2nd. February 4th is the appearance day of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. We'll be having an evening program at the temple with Abhishekam, Arti, class on the pastimes of Advaita Acharya and Prasadam. And February 9th and 10th, we'll be celebrating Lord Nityananda Trayodasi. The actual date is February 10th. So 9th is a Sunday program. There also we will do Nityananda Katha. As you all may be aware, during Lord Nityananda Trayodasi, years back, in 2006, Srila Prabhupada, our Vigraha at the temple, appeared on Nityananda Trayodasi day and at our Old Bridge property. So it's a big event for us. So let's celebrate it nicely, 9th and 10th, followed by Kirtan Love Fest from February 14th, 15th, and 16th. Right. So that's our upcoming events. Anybody will like to sponsor or assist or do anything for Lord Nityananda this year or for our upcoming festivals, please contact us and we can give more details. Is there anything else? Krishna Prabhu, Shamisha Prabhu.
Want to announce any sponsors or?
Well, our sponsors for today has, because of the inclement weather, has been postponed for the sponsorship for next Sunday. For the book distributions course, let's announce that we had for the pleasure of Shri Radha Shyamsundar, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, Shri Gaurnita, Shri Panchatattva, and all the assembled Vaishnavas, the book distributions course. Let's see.
20 books.
20 books.
Yeah.
20 books were distributed by Anadilila Prabhu and yeah, 19 big books, right? Is that the one?
Yeah.
20 by Anadilila Krishna Prabhu and Krishna Prabhu. So let's thank them with a loud Hari Bol. We had started the December marathon from December to January 15th. So let's also announce the winners. We had two teams, Lord Nityananda team and Lord Gauranga team. Let's see. Hold on for one moment. We'll announce Lord Gauranga team first. Partial to Gauranga team, the distribution of 101 boxes of Bhagavad Gita, one Chaitanya Chaitamrita set, 5 Srimad Bhagavatam set, 8 kids coloring books, 7 small yoga books, 50 mini sadhana pocket books, and 262 soft bound Bhagavad Gita books by Gauranga team. So let's thank them with a loud Haribol.
Haribol.
And Lord Nityananda team. This is, as we can see, that without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we cannot get the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So Lord Nityananda team had 227 boxes of Bhagavad Gita.
Haribol.
One full box of Chant and Be Happy of 250 books, one full box of spiritual yoga, 150 books, 20 books of science of self-realization, with a total of 4,089 books.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
So let's also thank them with a loud Haribo.
Haribo.
Haribol.
Haribo.
Haribol.
4,089 books plus one Chaitanya Chaitamrita set. So, yeah, so let's. So the winner is Lord Nityananda team. We will announce it next Sunday, and so that they can collect our
Okay.
trophy.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll have a total of probably close to 7,000. Our target was 5,000. That was amazing achievement. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, our goal was 5,000. We achieved the total of 7,000 books, which I sent the report to Divyananda Prabhu, who's part of Vaisheshika Prabhu's book team, who had reached out to me to know our score so they can publish that in their website. So let's thank all of them, all of you, for nicely supporting this book marathon. And let's hope and pray to the Supreme Lord that they can empower you all to continue this wonderful service of book distribution in the coming year. Okay, anything else? I think next Saturday is Ekadasi.
Saturday is Ekadasi, yes.
Yeah.
Minimally fasting from grains and beans and increasing our Krishna consciousness. There will be Ekadasi Kirtan at what time?
Morning 10 to 12.
Morning 10 to 12. There will be Ekadasi Kirtan, followed by, if you like to, Govindas Prasadam, Ekadasi Prasadam in Govindas. Hari Bol Jai. Okay.
Also, tomorrow morning, Maharaj is speaking, so request everybody please join. Maharaj's class is so wonderful, enlivening. Also, we have evening Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's a beautiful, beautiful section. Don't miss this. As Maharaj mentioned, that this is our opportunity, our good fortune. It's Krishna's mercy. Krishna is showering mercy upon us to be part of all this. Don't miss or don't minimize those. So please try to be there. This way we can connect and our internal affairs that with the Krishna all the time. So thank you.
Wonderful. Yep. Naman Prabhu, any other announcement?
That's it, bro. Thanks.
It's snowing outside. What was expected 5 to 6 inches or 7 inches. Be careful. If you don't have to travel outside, be at home. And happy Krishna consciousness to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vaishnava ki jai, Gopal ki jai.
Also pray together. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhubhyevacha hidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
Yo namo namaha.
Jai.
Hare Hare Bol.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, everyone.